You do it all without breaking a sweat, and you do it all in style. From being a boss exec to the Tuesday yoga to the kids' homework, family dinners, lunches, brunches, trips to the vet, and a weekend getaway that's anything but a getaway. That's why Infiniti fully reimagined the QX60 to help you conquer it all with ease. Even when you have back-to-back conference calls, on top of kids' basketball practices, not to mention your side hustle. A luxury SUV as functional as it is stylish and as versatile as it is serene. Available features like seating for up to 7 passengers, a suite of active safety features, and massaging front seats. Introducing the all-new Infiniti QX60, designed to help you conquer life in style. Legal, now with extremely limited availability. Contact your local retailer for inventory information.
Hello and welcome to episode 137 of The Nerd Out. I am Lisa.
I'm Ritzy.
We're girls and we nerd out. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Email us, info@thenerdout.com. Check out our website, thenerdout.com. We are a part of the Word to Your Mama network, family, familia. And you can find all things Word to Your Mama at WTYMAMA on all of the socials. And hey, you know what we haven't asked you to do in a while? Review us.
Review us. Yeah.
Give us some stars, people. Come on. Just
Give
some
us
stars.
Leave a review. On Spotify, you don't got to say nothing. All you got to do is give us a couple of stars. Well, why not? Why make it easy? You don't got to count. Just do it all the way to the end. 5 stars.
Just to make it easy, just fill it in until you can't fill it anymore.
All the way.
And then you're done.
Fill it up. You don't got to think about it. Easy breeze.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Easy fucking breeze. T.I., we are still on the roll, fucking folks.
We are.
It is. I looked at our notes. We recorded May 8th. Today is June 7th. A day early. Let's get with it. Let's get with it.
A day early. Come on now.
Woo!
Yeah, we're pretty great.
We're consistent in the 22s.
Yeah. It's all about consistency.
In the 22s. How's everything going with you over the past month?
Things are good. Where I live in the Pacific Northwest, things like spring is sort of it's like a less winter. It's not really a time of joyous rebirth. Certainly this year. And so it just took a really it snowed here on Easter. So it's the past few weeks have been starting to be really beautiful. So I have been busting my ass in the garden because for those of you who don't know, I am a gardening nerd. Yep. And I grow a lot of vegetables. So I've been I had started 2 months ago, a bunch of seeds from seeds, Yeah. And then been transplanting stuff out into the garden, ton of tomatoes, squash, watermelon, cantaloupe, zucchini, yellow squash.
Hello, farmers market.
Yeah, radishes, beets, beans.
Wow.
Everything. Lettuce that doesn't come up.
A well-rounded garden right there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I planted 20 tomato plants. So Let's see what happens. We have a short growing season here because you have to plant tomatoes outside after the last frost.
Ooh.
And that for me was late May. And I know. And then the first frost is probably mid-September. So chop, little tomatoes.
Yeah. Come on in because you got some packing, some pickling, some sauce.
Yeah. Canning.
Some sauce making, some canning. Mm-hmm. That's what it's called. Canning. Mm-hmm. Some canning to
but
do.
Pickling is also true.
Canning. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see how it works. And I'm just trying to get a whole lot of I love tomatoes. And so if I just live on tomatoes for a couple weeks at the end of the summer, life will be good and I will be happy.
We'll keep us posted on Tomato
Thanks.
Watch 22.
Yeah, Tomato Watch 22. What about you? How have you been?
So the last time we talked, I wasn't watching a lot of TV because I was super busy. That continued, but I've had a little bit of rest and I got a little bit of TV and movies in. So there'll be
Okay.
stuff to discuss. But something awesome that went down is that um, the Supernatural Bears auntie, his tia Mari, uh, bought him a kit where it was live caterpillars.
Oh, I saw this on the socials.
Yeah, it was like live caterpillars in a little cup that had like stuff that they could feed on at the bottom. And then it came with a catcher and it had ingredients and what to do. So, you've seen them in books, you've seen them on TV. It was kind of freaky seeing the whole metamorphosis. I kept thinking, like, what if they escape? It was kind of grossing us out.
Really?
It happened so fast. Like they came in and the box says, fragile and open immediately because they're fucking live, right? You don't want to suffocate them. And then, they're all like fuzzy little caterpillars up in there. And like immediately they go up to the top of the lid. And then, so the Supernatural Bear, it was his thing. And he was supposed to read the instructions, keep an eye on them and do all this stuff. I did like videos here and there, but I didn't read the instructions where it said when they got into, their cocoons and they were hanging from the top, I'm supposed to take the top off and the little things, I forget what they're called, they hang, like parallel to the top, and I put it on the stand inside the little, basket, little atrium that they give us.
Okay.
So one was already hatched. And I was like, oh no, I gotta go in with my hand and I gotta take it off. And it was freaking me the fuck out. And Rocco was like, it's just butterflies. They don't bite. I was like, I know, but it's kind of weird and gross. Like to see, I don't know if you've ever seen it up close, guys. Little pieces fall off when they're, getting into the cocoons. And they're like, if you see little red things, that's okay. That's just pieces of them and they're defecating. And I was like it was a bunch of them in one, I don't know, it's kind of gross. But I was like, this is some alien shit. This is Mother Nature. Mother Nature's dope.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then we got to release them. It was
That's
beautiful.
That's really cool. One thing that I heard, and I assume this is true, I don't know why it wouldn't be, but this really freaked me out. I think I learned it within the past year, that when caterpillars go into their cocoon, they liquefy and reassemble into the shape of a butterfly. What the fuck is happening?
How does
That's
that
some
happen?
alien shit.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. And then I was we were watching one of the Supernatural Bears' best friends out here, and we were showing him and we were talking about it. I was like, look, if they're in a cocoon, isn't it crazy? They were like these fuzzy things, and all of a sudden they have like, like it's a whole nother formation, guys. And then I was telling him, I was like, ooh, I go, what it reminds me of? I go, reminds me of Beastmaster. Remember those things that are hanging upside down in the tree? And they're like, what's that? I go, oh, it's a movie we'll watch soon enough. I go, but there was these things that look like big ass bats, and they would grab you, and then all of a sudden they would liquefy you, and then it would just be bones. They would open and release bones. Remember that? I remember vividly. I could hear the sound. And I was like, that's that shit, guys. Well, I didn't tell them shit because they're little, but I was like, that's that stuff, guys. But what was beautiful is that, we got to feed them. We got to see them. They all, like, within less than 24 hours, they all came out. Their wings were fully dried. And then I was like, well, we don't want to keep them that long. I want them to release. But let's not release them in the back because it's just open territory for birds just to swoop in and grab them. So we released them into these bushes in the front. And then the last one went and we saw it fly up into the tree, to the flowers, and feed. It was beautiful.
Stop it. The circle of life.
The circle of life. It was great. It was kind of gross, but it was great.
Yeah. That sounds really, look, we're like earth women. We're like all about nature.
Gardening and growing all kinds of things, guys.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I hope if anyone listening knows if this exists, let us know. But because I experienced that, and especially that you said they liquefy, I was like, what happens in there? right? Because it was a short amount of time, kids. It was like a couple of days. It went from a fuzzy thing to thing with fucking antennae, legs, wings. Like, it was quick. So I want a camera. I wanted someone to put a little hole in there. And I want to see the whole process, time lapse. What the fuck is going on in there?
Yeah.
That's the secrets. Those are secrets. We need those.
Yeah, I bet that exists.
I'm going to look it up. It's on a pubbin. It's on a
I think
pubbin.
you should.
I will. Okay, let's get into TV. What are you watching?
Well, clearly you were watching while you were watching Caterpillars. I finished one thing and almost finished two things.
Okay.
The first one is Tokyo Vice. Do you know about this?
I do not.
Okay. Tokyo Vice, it is produced by Michael Mann.
Okay.
Of Heat, of Miami Vice.
Oh.
Of et cetera,
See.
like very famous director. And it's based on, I think, a book or a series of books that are based on true stories. And it's about a young American kid who goes over college age, who goes over to Japan and wants to be a reporter. And so he, spoiler alert, becomes a reporter. And it's all about his sort of relationship with the cops and the Yakuza and, like, you know, the seedy underbelly of Tokyo. And it's like, in, you know, like hostess bars and newsrooms and police stations and gangsters, people killing each other. And the first season just ended. It has Ken Watanabe.
Yes, I love him. I remember seeing this and I was like, oh, I maybe want to watch it. So I'm glad you're talking about it. He's fine. I love him. He's a great actor.
He's fine and he's great. It also has, I never get his name right. I always want to call him like Ansel Egerbort. Ansel
Elgort.
Elgort. What a terrible name. I'd change that if I were him. He plays the young reporter, and he's really, really good in it, which bothers me because I think he's a problematic individual.
Yes.
So there's that.
Ew.
But he's good in it, and like all of the Japanese cast is like mwah,
Of
so
course.
good.
I'm sure.
So good.
A scale of 1 to 10, what do we give in Tokyo Vice?
I mean, I'm a pretty rough crowd.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying. What's the numbers?
I would say maybe a 7.
Oh, from Elisa, a TI-7 is like an 8.5 in other people's.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Well,
Like,
high praise.
Yeah, and it was just renewed for a second season. If you are interested in Tokyo mobsters, seedy underbelly, drugs, prostitution, I mean, come on, who's not?
Right.
Then it is really interesting, and like the Yakuza part of it is really interesting too.
I love that.
So
Okay,
yeah,
I'll add it to my list. What else what are we talking about?
The other thing, this is something that, like, I bet nobody who is listening, no one within the sound of my voice right now has watched this. It's called Bienvenido Paradiso.
Oh, I've seen the trailer for it.
Yeah, Welcome to Eden. Don't know why it's not Welcome to Paradise, but whatever.
I know.
It's Welcome to Eden. And it is a Spanish, as in Spain the country, production. It is a how would I describe it? It's fiction, but it's kind of like Survivor meets influencers meets weird murderous cult. And there's probably like 8 or 10 episodes. And I just saw randomly, was just trying to figure out something like light that I could watch while I was traveling. And I was like, okay, this seems like bite-sized, easy, not super deep. People online were like, a lot of youngsters are like, oh my God, this show is so good. And so I was like, all right. So I've been watching that. Is this show so good? No.
No.
Is this show interesting? Yes.
Okay. All right.
Is this a show that you can watch if you are doing other things? Yes, comma, if you speak
Mm.
Spanish.
Sí. Yeah.
As for me, no,
No.
because I have to watch the subtitles.
Subtitles. Yeah. Yeah.
So then I watched it while I was traveling, and then I was sucked in, and then it was like, well, you're halfway through, you have to finish it.
Complete it. Yep.
Yeah, so I tried really hard to finish it before this call, but I still have like another half an hour of the last
Oh,
episode to go.
what a treat. What a treat for today.
Yeah, it was I mean if that is kind of your thing, if it
Yeah.
is adjacent to your thing, you would probably like it. Like
Ah.
production values are pretty nice. It's interesting kind of from a cultural perspective because it's Spanish and that's a little different than some of the other stuff that I watch. So, there is a high degree of sexualization of people who are younger than I am accustomed to seeing sexualized.
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm.
Like, there's one of the characters' little sisters who I think is supposed to be 14.
Ooh.
Little, a
Yeah.
little too much for me. But,
Mm.
I'm just a puritanical American. What do I know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, but interesting. And apparently there is a season 2, which I don't know if I'll be watching that. We'll see.
Well, I'll check it out. I just want to look at it again because I remember seeing it and like being like, oh, I wonder what that is. And now I know. And I will check out the peeps and see if sometimes I think we discussed many episodes on here, but sometimes when I'm, surfing the crimson wave, I just want different types of things to watch, that maybe are not totally my bag, but I'm there. I'm in a zone. I'm cramping and I want something, So who's to say? What about Stranger Things? Have you watched that yet?
I have not started Stranger Things. And I will say one last thing about
Oh,
Welcome
see,
to
see, see.
Eden. I love that the cast is sort of, I would say, representative of the sort of Spanish diaspora.
Oh.
Like really interesting, like loads of really interesting sort of like mixed race people and like the best looking group of people, and they wear next to nothing. So if that's your jam, there
This
you
is your
go.
show.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, well, that's nice to know.
So yeah, that was my final recommendation. If you like looking at scantily clad hotties, there you go.
There it is.
Yeah. Yeah, so Stranger Things. No, haven't started it. I've been
Okay.
nervous.
You've been nervous?
Yeah. Because what if it's not good?
Oh, it's good.
Okay.
It's
Phew.
good. It's good. So I'm excited for you to, you have time, TI, because the 4.2 comes out next month.
Oh, okay.
So whip it up.
I did also hear that they had spaced it out, and so I was in less of a hurry.
Yeah.
But I was a little. I feel like there's so much potential for it to go poorly, and that makes me sad. And so I didn't want to watch it until I heard people saying if they liked it or not.
I was the same exact way. There's something I want to discuss, but I won't even mention what it is until you
Okay.
watch it. Yeah, and it's
Okay.
not till the end of the other one. So, but going back to your point of you watching Welcome to Eden because of, just kind of like cultural, kind of like an archaeological, or not, that's not the right word, but because you get to see how people in the other parts of the world live. I'm fascinated by Dubai.
Oh
So,
yeah, no kidding.
right? It's just, I have friends that have been there for, cultural art exchanges. And, I asked them, like, how was it? And they're like, well, couldn't drink here. We couldn't, da da da. And I have, you know, uh, my godson's father right now, he's in Saudi Arabia. Before he was in Bahrain. It just fascinates me, right?
Hmm.
So when I heard that there's a Real Housewives of Dubai? Oh, please believe it. I haven't watched the Real Housewives since maybe season 2 of Real Housewives Atlanta. Did never watch the Beverly Hills one, but I was like, just because I'm so fascinated, like they can do a Real Housewives there? Like, how is that possible? It's fascinating.
Really?
In the shade. So far, I'm only 1 episode in, and I was telling my relative Naisha, I was like, you need to watch this shit and let's discuss. There's this one woman who looks like she could be Iman's sister.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a model too, and she is petty as fuck. And it's just fascinating because they're all like, there's one girl who's Jamaican American, 2 black girls who are Black Americans that have been there for like 5 years. It's fascinating because it's like the rich of the rich.
COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too. If you feel symptoms, even if they're mild, you should test fast. Test positive and at high risk for severe COVID-19? Then act fast with authorized oral treatments that can be taken at home and must be taken within 5 days from when symptoms begin. COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too by asking your healthcare provider if an oral treatment is right for you. Learn about a treatment option at treatcv19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
And what do you do?
I'm looking at the pictures of these women right now, and half of them do not look how I would imagine them to look. And I wonder if that's because people who are any of them Muslim?
One is Muslim, and then her friend. Yeah, 2 of them are Muslim, and one is like not there all the time, and so they're Iranian, I believe. One is Iranian, maybe, and so that's fascinating because they're like juggling, like being in 2 worlds, and they're fluent in Farsi, but their kids aren't. Their kids know a little bit, the other one not, and it's just like, how do you maintain so far? I mean, I'm 1 episode in, guys, like, but it's fascinating. It's not like I need to keep up every week, but like if I have like some downtime, I'm cooking or something, it's a whole world. It's a whole nother world.
Yeah, I just can't get over it. This is not what I imagined this cast would look like.
Yeah. So the white girl, she's the only white girl in there, but she's British.
Okay. And then it looks like there's 3 black women.
Yeah, and so the model one that looks like Imani's thing, I'll have to look it up and send it to you. And she says, you know how they do their taglines?
Uh-huh.
And she says in her tagline, she's one bad bitch, and she says it in 4 different languages. She says it in English, she says it in Somali, she says it in Ugandan, and she says it in something else. And she goes, and I say it in 4 languages because I'm one bad bitch. Da, da, da. And I was just like, yes, I love this.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. All right. I watched a couple episodes of the very first one, Orange County.
Right. That was the first one, right?
I watched a couple episodes of that and haven't touched it since.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? But then Atlanta came out and I was like, yes. And then I just did 2 seasons maybe, and that was it. But now I'm like, oh, Dubai. So that excuse me. So Obi-Wan, have we ventured?
Yep.
And we're up to date.
Not with the most recent episode.
Okay. All right.
Don't hate, participate.
It's major.
Okay. Allow me to divulge what my feelings are prior to this one.
Okay.
And that is, here's a pun for you, lukewarm.
Ah.
That's right. I'm here all week.
I'm going to tell the Supernatural Bear he loves puns, and he's going to love that one.
Yeah, pretty lukewarm on it. How were you feeling up until the most recent episode?
I love it. It's like, yeah, okay. For sure. We know the stories. We don't know some of the stories. I didn't know what to expect. I was just like, great, this is great. Ewan McGregor is giving me acting.
Yes. Acting.
Little Princess Leia, cute, sure.
No.
You don't like her at all.
No. No. Like, there were 2 times in the second episode when this little rugrat managed to like outrun grown-ass mercenaries and a Jedi.
You mean
really?
Flea? When she outran Flea?
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, that was annoying.
And it went on forever. I was like, just get it over with. So I find her like, look, she's so precocious. She's so self-possessed. She knows everything. And then it's like, you're in danger and somebody comes to rescue you. And she's like, I want gloves. I'm like, first of all, don't care about this storyline. And second of all, shut your pie hole and let the Jedi rescue you.
You are just like Mark Bernardine when the last Famine and Beyond. He said the exact same shit.
Really?
Yeah, he was just like, how is she like super smart and a fucking Jedi to be? And she all of a sudden can't listen and wants to do like ridiculous stuff. And I was like, no, I can see that too. But it's Star Wars. I don't know. It's like,
I know.
I was just like, how are we here? How am I, the little girl dressed my mom and my tia made the Princess Leia costume, and I wish I had pictures from scratch, and I'm grown and still into the shit and still get excited. Like, they're giving it to me. That's fine.
I will tell you also, I had no idea what to expect from this, which in some ways was bad because I allowed myself to fill in the blanks. And I was imagining this like lone gunslinger, like the adventures of Obi-Wan, like righting wrongs and doing whatever. And it's like, oh, we're fucking back on Tatooine.
Yeah, the
Great.
Sadness, no skills.
And he's like a shit Jedi.
Yeah.
Like,
and
I
a
was
punk
like,
and a coward.
Yeah, I'm like, this is bullshit. This was not what I wanted. I wanted like, with like zoom and his like lightsaber and like fucking shit up, but he's like heartbroken and like can't be reached. And I mean, I guess it's a little too Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was kind of bummed. I was like, oh no, great. It's about baby Luke and Leia.
I'm excited to see what you think when we talk next month,
Okay.
now that some episodes have passed. I don't think your thing will change that much, but I'm excited to get your thoughts and stuff like that. So let's get it. I figure with the time we have left, this is going to take up all the time. The movies. Just talking about 2 movies.
Yes, what is going to take the rest of the time?
Let's go to movies and let's go to old school Top Gun and new school Top Gun.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this.
It.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Okay.
So, I watched old school Top Gun.
Okay.
To see if it still holds up. When was the last time you saw it?
Years. Maybe decades.
It fucking still
really
holds up. It is so fucking good. It is so fucking good. And I thought it was going to be like hella problematic. So I was telling,
me too.
I was like, with the Bears, I was like, let's watch it. And then as soon as I press play, we're going to watch it during dinner. Rocco was like, have we vetted this? Like, is this appropriate for him? I was like, oh, it was the 80s. PG meant so many things back then,
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'll watch it by myself. And I was all up in it. And I felt like I was 12 years old again. And I was super excited. And I was like, hell yeah, fuck yeah, all the shit. Because as I explained on here many times before, I'm from San Diego. I would see the Blue Angels every year. I'd go to Miramar. So when this movie came out, I was 12. And I wanted to be, at the time, F-16 pilot. I wanted to be one of the first women. Like, I was gung-ho. I'm in a Navy town, guys. San Diego, Navy town. I was 15 dating swabbies. Like, that's the rite of passage. And so And then when I went, I couldn't afford to go to college, so I had to work my way go to school all day, and then at night I worked underneath Jim's Air. I worked in Jim's Air, so I worked underneath the bar scene. So when I saw that again, and I was texting people, and I was like, I just watched Top Gun again. It still fucking holds up. It is not problematic at all, and it's low key female empowerment in the 80s, 1986.
Why would you say female empowerment?
Because homegirl, I can't think
Kelly
of it.
McGillis.
Kelly McGillis. It was never, it was a little, man chasing woman scene, but there was nothing, like, she just was like boss bitch coming out in 1986 running shit.
Yeah.
They didn't have to explain it. They were just like, refer to her. She's the boss. They always referred to her. And I was like, yes. And she left him. She boned out. She was like, oh, because I applied to this job in Washington, D.C. Peace out, dude. And I was like, this is amazing.
And so did Kanoa watch it?
No.
Oh.
But I told you, he's been knowing I have the need for speed. And I play him all the time, the song. Sorry.
Uh-huh. When is he going to watch it?
I don't know. I don't know if he's into it. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, so when did you see Maverick?
Not last weekend, but the weekend before. Opening weekend.
I saw it yesterday.
Oh, so it's still fresh.
In the D-Box. I recommend if there's a D-Box situation near you, go see it at the D-Box. And also in the LA area on the West Coast, there's the 4DX, where I heard Mark Bernardine saw it in 4DX. So it's a D-Box plus sensations and smells. So when the jets go, you feel heat.
Huh. Okay. Interesting.
But the D-Box was tremendous and stupendous, and I loved it. And we're multidimensional human beings. I am totally like not gung ho about the military. I'm not all America, but sometimes I am. And I love a good jet fight. I love military war movies. Yeah. And this is not. I just love jets. I love jets. That's never gonna leave my body.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I too really liked it. And it was I had a lot of doubts, and then I saw like the trailer and I was like, sign me up. And I thought that it's like it threaded a really an interesting needle with the villains. I love that they never named them.
Yes. And they didn't do that really at in the first one either.
Oh, really?
I was surprised. There was no like identifying flags. I was like, who's it going to be? Russia? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I thought that was kind of clever. I liked that it was macho swagger for sure.
Oh, please believe it.
But it was also like, some thoughts and a little romance and like, I don't know. He is a weirdo, but he once he's up on screen, he's such a charismatic man that I'm like, whatever you're doing, I'm watching it.
Do yourself a favor and sometime soon, maybe before our next episode, watch the old one and you'll be like, motherfucker was fucking fine. I get it. Whatever
Still
that
is.
Yeah. Whatever that it thing is, spades. Like, Scientologist, da 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 da. But and also, let me just say this. I am one to say I apologize and to, when I'm wrong. And the last time we talked about Top Gun Maverick, we were hyped about it, but I said it's not going to make any numbers at the theater. Well, who's fucking wrong? Fucking broke the record. The record that was held still by Pirates of the Caribbean in 2007. He had the biggest domestic Memorial Day open. I was like, oh, Memorial Day. I forgot that factor. You know what I'm saying? We've been cooped up. It's all America. It's da-da-da-da. On Memorial Day makes fucking sense.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, it was filmed 3 years ago. He's like, I'm holding out. I believe in my shit.
Yeah. It was a smart move to hold out.
Fuck, smart move.
And what's the name of the guy? Miles Teller.
See.
Also a problematic individual.
Yeah.
But I saw somebody online refer to it as like this film was filmed so long ago, Miles Teller was still bankable.
Exactly. And he wasn't anti-vax. Like, 'cause remember how Tom Cruise went crazy on whoever did tested positive, whatever? Well, if they would have been doing this, Miles would have, I'm sure he probably wouldn't have fought, because it's fucking Tom Cruise. Like, be in this movie and get the vaccine and get fucking tested or whatever.
Yeah. And he looked a lot like Goose.
Yeah, I'll give him that. Yeah, exactly. It was a good casting. Casting was good.
And like the dog fights and the planes and all of that was so exciting. And like we were talking about it afterwards, and there's just like, I don't know if it will be that way forever, but there's just like that kind of dog fighting just doesn't exist anymore.
Exactly. And the fact that there's no CGI, it's all, we know Tom Cruise has his license. We know he flies fucking that type of shit. So, of course, after I was like, I'm going to nerd out about this shit. So the BTS, he had all of the actors go through a 3-month rigorous boot camp where they're like underwater, doing drills, like all these different things. And they actually, all those areas, they're actually in the jets with a pilot actually flying them and doing the stuff, but they're in there and everybody threw up a grip of times because they're actually feeling the G's. Miles Teller says that he's the only one that didn't, but Glenn Powell, who I love.
Which one is he?
Hangman.
Uh-huh. Yes. What else is he in?
He was the super cute astronaut in Hidden Figures.
Oh.
And he's been in like Netflix movies here and there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was in one of the Batmans that maybe I didn't see, but he's super cute. And so I was watching him and he was talking about, they're like, oh, Jimmy Kimmel was like, oh, Miles said that, he didn't throw up. Did you throw up? He's like, yeah. He said that the mic is in the mask. And so, they're going to do like an inverted situation. And the pilot was like, he's like real Top Gun guys, Navy guys. And he's like, he's like, you okay over there, buddy? He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm cool. But then he takes off his mask and his mic and starts throwing up chunks in his bag. But the pilot doesn't hear him throwing up. He's like, all right then, buddy, let's get to it. So inverts. So he said, so now I'm upside down and through the, the top, I see the floor. And he's like, but now the throw up that I just threw up, I'm trying to throw up, but it's coming back in my mouth and it's like spewing all over. And I was like, that's great. That's great. That's great stuff.
That's why I never would have been an actor in that movie. It sounds, having to go through like Navy fighter pilot school light.
Dude, that's amazing.
Terrible. But it's great that they did.
He said that they had to do them a bunch of times. And they were talking to the director. And, when you're directing, you see the action and stuff, but you can't be up there. So he's like, I wouldn't see them for an hour because they would go up and just film it and then, look at the footage and then have to go up and film it again and again and again and again.
Wow.
And I was like, a chance of a fucking lifetime. A chance of a fucking lifetime. To even sit in one, an F-18, to fly in one, and then do, acrobatics and shit. Oh, so fucking lucky. Lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. And like, I mean, unless they are throwback movies, we'll probably never get anything like that again because it's all drones. It's all stealth bombers.
Yeah.
Like nobody engages in the sky. It's all like surface to air, drones, bombs. Yeah. That's it.
Oh, what a gem. What a gem of a movie.
I know. It was really good. We really enjoyed it very much. And I told people when I went into work, I was like, I don't know how to say this, and I'm somehow even a little embarrassed, but I wholeheartedly recommend that everyone go see Maverick.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And
fun. It's good times.
I work with a bunch of people in their mid to late 20s and early 30s, and they're like, oh yeah, that's a movie about like airplanes. And I'm like, did you guys ever see the first movie? They're like, no. I'm like, oh my God.
Glenn Powell talked about that his dad introduced him to Top Gun when he was 10, and it was like he held the VHS like it was gold, and so to be on it, and his dad, he puts his parents in all his movies, so he, for his dad to be on set and meet Tom Cruise. And so anyways, yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking, he's like, yeah, I never got into that, I thought it was too white. This is like the original one. And then we were talking about, how we're not really hyped on the military, especially being a brown person, how they are very predatory, again, for black and brown kids and da-da-da. And we're talking about all that. So then he sent me a tweet saying, I told you. And it was saying, it was someone that was tweeting stats, but they were talking about the original Top Gun. So the original Top Gun also broke records, but it also increased naval recruitment to 500%.
For sure.
Because it was the 80s, but also because of what they were doing, they were smart enough and evil enough to put recruiting tables outside of movie theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh, he thought he was sending it to me, and that was now. That there was 500%. And then I actually read it, and it was the 80s. I was like, oh, that makes sense because they put the tables outside or whatever. But
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they do it now.
yeah, fucking gung-ho. Like, yeah, let me just. But yeah, Top Gun, go do yourself a favor, watch the old school one, and then go watch Top Gun Maverick, D-Box minimum. If you have one around, if you do have a 4DX, go see it and let us know.
Yeah. Are there any movies coming out that you're excited for? Like, are you going to go see Jurassic Park?
So I haven't seen the new Jurassic Parks, right?
Okay.
But at Maverick, I saw the trailer for the one that's coming out that has the old school and the new school. And lately, the Supernatural's bear singing, da, 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 da. I go, how do you know that? He goes, oh, from memes. I go, well, then we got to watch the old school one. And then I want to go see the new one in a D-Box with him. And I think that would be fun.
Yeah, I feel like that might be a good movie for him.
Yeah.
What was the other thing? Oh, Thor.
Oh, hell, fuck yeah, that looks fun as fuck.
Yeah.
So what about you?
Good.
Are you gonna see the new Jurassic? It's good times.
I live in a small town in Eastern Oregon.
You'll get it where you can get it.
Jurassic Park coming through town is going to be a big deal for me.
Yeah.
What about the new Downton Abbey movie?
So as I'm going to the bathroom before Maverick, people are coming out of the new Downton Abbey movie. And I was like, oh, I really want to see that. I heard it's good. Heard it's good as always. But I'm just going to, I don't have to see it in the theater. I can wait.
Okay. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that you can wait for.
I can wait for. But just hearing the music, I was like, dun, dun, dun. And I was just like, oh my goodness gracious. Such a sucker for that. They can make movies forever, and I'll watch every single one. But yeah, so that is our episode for today. Anything else, T.I., before we skedaddle?
That's it for me.
All right then. Peace out, nerds.